What's going on?
Man, we about to have a good one, dog. We about to have a good one, man. So, yeah, man. Hey, y'all know I'm out here in DC right now, right?
Yeah, how's it looking out there?
It ain't looking good if you Hispanic, dog.
Mm.
Once they get done with them, they gonna start on us.
Dog, when I say I'm literally walking out where I'm staying, it just say ice trucks. I'm just like, yo,
Uh,
y'all mobbing around like that. They mobbing around like that, bro. Like they don't care. And and the way dude looking at me, I'm like, I ain't this shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just walking around and it looked like he got an attitude with me.
mm.
So like what Grant just said, it's like, yo,
They walking around with like anger,
yeah,
like they
but they
want somebody
not
to try them.
exactly. I'm like, man, this it's insane. It's insane. But how we doing though? How everybody doing though, man?
All good.
Feeling good, man. We got a big call, man. We got Mr. Joseph Jenkins coming on, man. He about to break it all the way down, man. He about to show us everything, bro. So hey, me and Malcolm, we talked at the end of the year, and he was just like, "Yeah, man, like guest speaker, that'd be." You remember he
Mm.
said that, brother?
Yep.
Yo, first one of the year, man. So yeah, we gonna kind of go through everything like we usually do. We gonna bring them up in like probably like 15 minutes, and then we gonna get going. But first things first, I just want to get into what's been going on lately. Ernest, y'all been watching Ernest, man?
You see
Mm.
Sandus?
Crazy.
I'm sick. That bitch is
It's
up
up
100 right now.
$130.
130? Wow.
That make my heart
Oh,
hurt.
bro, I'm sick, bro. Uh,
That's insane.
$130.
I don't
bro,
even
I'm
want to
so
talk
mad I
about it.
sold that play. I'm so mad.
I know Keys is feeling that.
That's a life-changing
Read
play.
Life
Like,
changing.
Hey,
it.
he's fighting
li-
there.
Now,
literally, I looked
what?
that up yesterday. It was 32 bands when we looked it up yesterday. So if that mug went up $130, I know that
Oh
bitch
yeah.
is up to 50 off of eight. I bought the contract for like 1,700
Yep. We paid
or something
1,700
like
for it.
that.
Yep. It's at
1,700.
50,000.
Mm.
Which one are you talking about? The two SNDK, the SanDisk card.
Yeah. Oh, the one you had. Yep.
Yeah, the one I had, the
Didn't you have a
SanDisk
200
card
call?
that I had.
You had a 200 call?
That Western Digital 300 card that we had, I kept that. That mug, if we went up 14 after the bill, if that holds, I don't know, what is it? Did it hold the 280?
Yeah, it held for a little bit, but Western Digital gonna be fine. It kind of came back
Yeah.
down, but I think they all dumping their bread into SanDisk right now, bro. Like I know a lady. I've been talking to her
And I
all
grabbed them.
day. I've been
Go
talking
ahead.
to her all day. She said she bought the 600 calls for $1.95. She just looked it up. It said $6,000 a contract.
That's crazy.
$195 to 6,000, bro. And she got
That's
two
you talking about
contracts.
Mariah,
Yep. Yep. You seen it?
That's
bro. I
insane.
seen the call out.
Bro, $1.95 to $6,000 overnight.
Wow.
This game is life changing, man, and that is why we got a heavy hitter coming on, man, just to show us strategies, bro, showing us how to get better. You know what I mean? We've been playing this game for a minute. We've been locked in. We've been focused, but it's always good to continue to keep growing. It's always good to continue to keep growing. So yeah, man. So just a couple things. Meta. Right, they beat on earnings and revenue, and they guided for next quarter. You seen what they did. What else? In Microsoft, they beat on earnings and revenue, but man, we talked about it. That cloud, that open AI deal, the Azure, it's just not going too well, bro. You seen it was down $50 today. Microsoft, bro. We're gonna talk about that Tesla. They beat on earnings, they beat on revenue, but they ended up dropping though. They ended up dropping, but then Elon had announced after the bill, he's looking to merge SpaceX with Tesla. Did y'all see that?
Yep.
Tesla's up $12 after the bill. So that's crazy, right? SanDisk, we just talked about that. The memory keys been banging the table about the memory. Apple beat too, earnings and revenue. Apple just had its best quarter in about 6 years. And nobody's talking about it, bro. Best quarter in 6 years. That is why I say, bro, the people that like, I'm not saying the people, but people that count out the Mag 7 companies, bro, you can't count them out, bro. Like, if they are tweaking, if they are slacking, they just gonna reinvent themselves, bro. Right? And
Yeah,
we always know Apple has been the one that they gonna let you do what you do, build it, and then they gonna come in after and make whatever you do better. We've always known that about Apple, bro. They've never been the first to the punch of anything. Like nothing that they've done, even with the AirPods. They seen Beats by Dre make the earphones. They like, we can do something similar to that. We're gonna let them do what they do. How many people, how many clients, right? The trajectory of how much in sales they can get off these. Okay, cool. We're gonna take their same model. We're gonna do something called the AirPods. Bro, they do it every single time. Same with AI, same with everything that's coming, bro. Same with Siri, same with everything, bro. They just gonna take over what they do. So we can't count them out. One of the best quarters in 6 years. What else? What else? So that's it for earnings that we just seen. Um,
What about Visa?
Visa, they beat on earnings and revenue, but I don't know. They was just moving where we knew that though, KB. You said they don't really move.
Yeah, they don't move really.
They
Mm.
don't really move like that. So we couldn't expect nothing from them. Just a couple upcoming things. We're gonna talk about this real estate stuff real quick, and then Joseph gonna come on, and then he gonna have the floor. So upcoming things for next week. We need to keep our eyes on this. Palantir reports on Monday. Palantir reports on Monday. Key's favorite also reports right after Palantir. FN Fabrinet reports on Monday. And we
Yeah.
seeing how and listen, if we seeing Sanders
I
move,
wanna do a lotto
I
on
was just
them.
about to
I ain't
say, if
gonna
we
lie
seeing
to
how
you.
Sanders moving, we seeing how MU moving, every company kind of in that sector, STX, yo, we might be putting a lotto in on FN. Tuesday we got AMD. Tuesday, AMD. We got Amgen, SMC, SMCI, LITE. The one I've been loving, LITE, Light. Wednesday, we got Google. I feel like Google gonna knock it out of the park, dog. I feel like Google, yeah, big week, brother. Google gonna knock it out of the park. ARM on Wednesday. COHR, one I told you I put on the watch list. Tevin's favorite. Symbiotic reports on Wednesday. Tevin's favorite, Symbiotic reports on Wednesday. And Snapchat. I think Grant was playing with Snapchat a little minute ago. Snapchat. Thursday, we got Amazon, Big Dog, Iron, Reddit, and then MSTR. I'm really curious about what Michael Saylor got to say about this MSTR stuff. So make sure we got that on the watch list, and then I just got just a question about this real estate stuff. Like I said, we're gonna start adding real estate in every single week so everybody can just get familiar, with what's going on. So it says home buyers are backing out of deals at the fastest pace in a decade. 40,000 contracts canceled only in December. 40,000 in December. What does that mean for my real estate guys? Can y'all tell me like what's going on, bro?
So my opinion on that is that a lot of people are looking at the rates, right? So people are getting excited. They're looking at the rates, but they're not looking at the return on investment. So they're not running the initial CMA, which realtors would do. They'll look at a property within the last 6 months, right? Compare it to other properties, and then you're looking at the turnkey as far as a property that is brand new compared to a property that needs fixing up. The properties that need fixing up are what's going to bring in the money, right? Because you're spending the renovation cost, but you have to know your maximum allowable offer on that property, and you want to look to get a 20 to 30% return. So a lot of people got excited. They saw that the rates went down, and then people are just buying. They're using the liquid that they put to the side, or they're using private money um, funding solutions to buy the property. So that's my opinion on that.
Who else in that real estate space, man? That was good though, Tev.
Inventory is on the market. Seller buyers have many more decisions now. So like there are multiple houses, multiple price drops. So it's more competition than it was a couple years ago. Um, a lot of people are inside of real estate and they're trying to get in the game and they're not doing their flips correctly, which is also causing people not to want to purchase certain houses because either the craftsmanship is not done correctly or it still needs work to be done. Um, and then also millennials don't really see the need to buy a house. We are like, we plan on moving to another area or having, moving, wanting to upgrade our life constantly. And something crazy I heard from Delta the other day, listening to them, um, and this coincides with just people and their mindset psychology wise, the, Their they said that their regular main cabin seat ticket sales are declining, but their first class ticket sales have increased significantly. So, which is telling me that people are now thinking that, hey, I won't go live over here no more because I don't think that I want to live over here. It doesn't have the same type of people I want to be around, even if they can't afford it. They'll really rather sacrifice everything that they have as far as what they make out of their paycheck and save money and look good rather than actually be good. So I think that's the bottom line.
Yeah, I mean, to add on to a couple of the keys points, I mean, you see a lot in terms of millennials, I should say, saying that they're waiting to buy. I wonder how many cases are they just can't afford it because the average age of a first-time home buyer this year is actually 40 years old. That's the highest ever, which is crazy. Um,
That's insane.
yeah, not wild. So Keys and our brother Alvin, we go back and forth quite a bit. Like, is it really an interest rate issue or is it a price issue?
Mm.
If you force me to answer, I would say price.
To your point, the last part about the real estate was Trump has said today, I don't want to drive home prices down. I want to drive housing prices up for people who own their houses. What does that mean?
First
As
time
So,
bro, if you
homeowner is gonna be 69.
basically invest or die, like Ian be saying, like
hmm
if you don't own nothing, bro, you're gonna be cooked, bro.
for
And it,
sure.
and it and it kind of makes you like just I'm not in real estate, but it just on the outside looking in, it's like why like you supposed to be helping us get a home.
hmm
Like the younger generation, the millennials and Generation Z and after that, like some people I talk through my age, they like, bro, I don't think I'm gonna ever own a home.
It's crazy.
Like I'm a rent. I'm talking about actually own the
hmm
house. I don't think I'm gonna ever own it in my lifetime, is what people are telling me. I'm like, nah, you tripping. And then I get to thinking, if he draw these joints, bro, they already expensive, bro.
hmm
Yeah.
If he keep driving them
But
up, it's like it's over with. You feel me? What y'all think
but I
about
also
Yeah.
think though we're going into a time where the days of owning a home just for the sake of owning a home is really not the most intelligent decision anymore though. Because it's
100%.
like I bought my home as an investor. So I bought a multifamily because I'm not thinking of buying a home just to say I bought a home because where we going, that's how America was built, but that's not where it's going. So we gotta, you know, every era has like their thing, whether that be real estate, if you caught Bitcoin early, whatever. We gotta play with what's working now. And just buying a single family home for the sake of it, that's not what's going down now.
Mhm. 100%. I could totally agree on that. Um, as far as investors, they're looking in markets like Ohio, Texas, right? Because it's all about what can make you money at the end of the day. Like like brother said, it doesn't make sense to buy a home a single family home just for your family because you're automatically at a loss once you purchase that property. So like Ohio's been a hot spot that I've been hearing about. A lot of people from California have been investing into properties in Ohio because you can get a 3 bedroom, 2 bath for 50,000, right? Pay it off all cash, and then you could just start adding on your doors. So it's all about really looking at the markets and understanding where you're going to get that fast return on investment because real estate is such an illiquid cash flowing niche, right? A lot of it is for tax purposes. So, but if I'm buying it as an investment opportunity, then what markets am I close by where I don't have to take a flight out, right? That makes sense. So I'm gonna be looking in Ohio. I'm gonna be looking in Texas. I might look in Oklahoma. I think another thing that people should be aware of is the stability number, right? That's gonna make sense for them and their family. So like if you look at stability number in New Jersey, to be well off, you need to be making 163,000 to have a house, a car, and just to have all your shit together and all in order. But in Oklahoma, you may only for the stability number need 80,000 annually, right? So it's very people have to be aware and not just say I bought a house, now I got real estate, right? And they have to know the different solutions that they can optimize right on that property. That makes sense. You guys tracking?
No, that makes sense, bro. That
Okay.
makes sense.
Okay.
You hit it on a nail.
I'm following you. I'm following you. So yeah, man. Man, that's good, bro. That's just something that I want to make sure we just continuously talking about, bro. Because I don't know what's about to happen in the real estate side of things. I just know what Trump said, and we talked about this before. When he said something, bro, he be meaning that shit. With him saying today, I don't want to drive home prices down. I want to drive housing prices up for the people that own them. Then you got to ask yourself, who owns majority of the homes? They do.
That's all
BlackRock,
BlackRock.
right?
That is all
BlackRock.
BlackRock.
BlackRock owns majority of the homes. So if they own majority of the homes, hedge funds own majority of the fund. I mean the homes.
But
Your
you see how
billionaires, your
increasing those
millionaires
smell like.
own majority of the homes. It's like, bro, yeah, he want them to get richer, bro. That's what it is. The rich getting richer. So with that being said, bro, I want to bring up Joseph, man. Um, I want to bring up the brother, man. He's from Canada, man. He's gonna talk about his story, man. He's about to give us all that game, man, for this trading stuff. He's gonna share his screen. He's gonna show us the supply, demand, whatever he want to show us, man. He about to show us. So Joseph, man, welcome, my brother. Welcome to the ecosystem.
Thank you,
Yeah.
bro. You guys have a nice thing going on here. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I love the free flowing conversation. I love how everybody is putting in their input. I love how everybody's bringing their personal experience. It's a great thing that you guys are coming together. I see a lot of young black men that are all coming together, talk wealth. Um, just about me as like a Canadian. Funny enough, I'm Middle Eastern predominantly. My uncle played for the Chicago Cubs, first black Canadian in the MLB Hall of Fame. So my roots run a little bit deep within Canada in that regard. I never got to like experience that side because my parents were never really like together. So what I talk about, like my personal story, I probably come from very similar backgrounds to you guys, even though we might not live in the same country, we might not come from the same places. We probably live through very similar experiences in life. But for me, I started trading back in 2019. Wasn't the richest, wasn't the smartest. I didn't go to university, I didn't go to college. Sort of started off in a very broken household where my future was like uncertain. I didn't really look at my future as something like this is important to go and focus on. I think trading, once I started it and I realized you can make your own future, you can generate as much income as one needs to survive or thrive in life, I started to treat it with a little bit more respect. So, like I said, I didn't come into this rich. I didn't come into this with the mindset of I'm going to eventually get rich very fast. I came into it with the mindset of something, hopefully anything, will give me a clear direction as to where I'm at right now. And that's sort of what trading gave me. Just to preface and expand on what Nate was saying earlier. Last year we won a trading competition, #1 ranked trader in the entire country. We've made over $70,000 in the last 3.5 months. This month, our open P&L is up about 22,000. Ended up turning $350 to like $27,000 in a matter of 3 weeks. So pretty damn good month. So everything I say in today's session of the ecosystem is sort of my perspective on, I don't remember who brought it up, but within the real estate space, how to make as fast amount of money as possible, but with proper risk, right? So today I'm just going to show you guys from my own personal perspective how I look at the markets, but not so much about the charts, not so much about making the money side of things. It's more so about like capital preservation. Personally, I think the most important part to trading, investing, is capital preservation. You guys are mentioning assets, and funny enough, Nate, you mentioned it yourself. People are not looking at the Mag 7 stocks. Why? Because they find them boring. They find these stocks as if, maybe Palantir will give me a 10x return. Why am I looking at Google? Why am I looking at Meta? Why am I looking at Apple? What I like to follow is, drop a 1 in the chat, or if you guys want to unmute. Do you guys know who Peter Lynch is? Anybody heard of Peter Lynch?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, we have.
You want to share what Peter Lynch's investment philosophy is?
Man, I would actually want you to share. I actually forgot that, Joe, but I know exactly who you're talking about.
Peter Lynch, he is the man who beat Wall Street. He outperformed the S&P 500. I believe he outperformed it by 19%. So he was at a 29% annual return. S&P 500 was about 10%. So he beat all of Wall Street. His investment philosophy is only pick stocks that you understand. Pick companies that you understand. So from my personal perspective, I sort of embodied that philosophy of just getting into things that I understand, looking at the markets that I understand. And you guys are mentioning the fundamental side, to even Elon Musk trying to merge Tesla with SpaceX. These are things that you're keeping in the loop on and you guys are understanding, right? So from my perspective today, I'm just going to show you guys a bunch of stocks that I understand to a degree, the company, but also the chart like itself, right? Because for me, I feel like one of the most important things to trading beyond risk management is also understanding patterns within the market, because patterns repeat themselves. There's this technical analysis framework. It's called Elliott Wave. And Elliott states that the market tends to repeat patterns in how they look. They may not necessarily repeat in size or magnitude or even time, but the patterns themselves will be very repetitive. So what I want to show you guys today is, first and foremost, how I made all of that money in a very short amount of time. But I also want to break down the why and sort of how I went about it psychologically speaking. So let me quickly share my screen. And you were mentioning about Apple, why people are looking down on Apple, even though it's a fairly good company. They always steal ideas.
Wait,
They're
and you
constantly
said,
evolving.
and brother, you said, first off, Peter Lynch was the one that said, if a stock falls from 8 to 2, don't get scared by more of it. That was him, right?
Facts.
Yeah, okay.
That is
Okay,
a
yeah, we on the
fact.
same way. I know exactly what you're talking about now. Yeah,
That is a fact.
got you.
But yeah, that's exact. I was thinking about that actually on my before I hopped on here. That whenever you hold a stock that you know, a company that you understand, you're not going to be afraid to hold that because you understand this asset. And the reason why I like to look at really any stock with a history of growth is because, take a look at this. If I tell you, hey, the next iPhone is coming out, but it might have like a small bug with it, I'm just curious, how many of you guys are going to go and buy that phone?
The iPhone?
Like, let's just say a new product is coming out and somebody finds one problem with it. I can guarantee you the majority of the world is still going to go and buy that iPhone.
Facts.
Right?
Facts.
That is the consumerism mindset that the majority of the world has fallen into. As it pertains to stocks, cryptocurrency, assets, whenever we hear something is on sale, whenever things are red, people tend to like shy away. They fear from it. And Peter Lynch, the reason why I brought him up is because when you think about it from his perspective and you mix in and you tie in the fact that we can still be consumers, we can still be investing in these assets, but we're not really focusing on the product side of things. I think there's a huge world where we transfer that wealth, not just through money and assets and all of that. We can transfer it through knowledge. right? Because whenever you guys bring up trading, whenever you guys bring up investing, whenever you guys bring up anything that pertains to building wealth, you will now associate it with the products that you see on a daily basis. So whenever you see somebody with the latest iPhone, let's just say somebody in your family, your sister, your cousin, somebody that you want to chop it up with, you're able to say, okay, you got the latest iPhone 17, but I'm just curious, what do you know about Apple stock? Apple's been bearish the last 8 weeks. Oh, and by the way, we haven't done that since 2007, right? These are things that I encourage people to look at and really spread that knowledge on a daily basis, just by the small products that we have that we may even look at as insignificant. So on that note, I really want to show you guys my framework and exactly what I look at. I think, Nate, you might gotta give me permission to share my screen.
Can you let me see. Let me see. Click there. See if I can do that. Did that come through?
Should have, yeah. I think I just got it, yeah.
I was gonna ask you, I don't know if your camera working.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah, we good.
No,
Now.
bro, I have a webcam. My camera, I would turn it on, but my webcam is not working. I gotta get a new one.
Nah, you good. We can see your screen though. We can see the Ethereum.
Yeah. You guys are good?
Yep.
All right, perfect. Out of curiosity to all you guys, if you guys want to drop a one or unmute yourselves, how many of you guys look at the charts themselves, or how many of you guys are like more fundamentally based?
I look at the charts.
Yep, look at the charts.
If you guys want to just take turns, whoever does look at the charts, what is your normal framework of how you analyze assets themselves? Like, what do you guys look at?
So I usually try to look at trend line. I try to look at trend on a daily. Usually, I try to look at the support and resistance. And that's really what I try to keep on every single chart on the daily, the trend line, and then look at it on the 4 hour and the 1 hour.
Okay. Who was the other person that said that they looked at the charts?
That was me. The same thing as Alante, also the EMAs, the 400-day specifically.
Mm-hmm. Have you guys ever heard about logarithmic? Do you guys know what logarithmic scale is?
I haven't.
I'm gonna change the game for not just you guys, but for every other person in this call, because a lot of people they think that trading, they think that analyzing the charts is very hard because it looks like a foreign language to them. It looks like hieroglyphics, right? But I'm going to show you guys a very simple framework to take stocks, to take assets that have a history of growth and understand exactly where they are in a cycle, so you understand whether something is overvalued, undervalued, or just somewhere in the middle. Sound good with you guys?
Yes, sir.
Hell yeah.
For sure.
Perfect. So we're going to start off with the S&P 500. You guys know that this is the Standard & Poor 500, tracks the 500 largest companies that are publicly traded, right? Logarithmic scale is going to allow me to go and dig all the way back to the Great Depression, right? We're going to dig all the way back to the Great Depression. And we're going to start this off because all the way back here was the last major reset that allowed us to go and draw this channel out. So you mentioned trend lines, you mentioned support and resistance. That is the basis for technical analysis because it allows you to understand where the trend is at. But trends and channels serve two different purposes. This right here is the S&P 500 data just in one compact screen over the last damn near century. And the only way that you can access this is by switching your settings to logarithmic scale. This is exactly how you're going to understand whether something is overvalued, undervalued, or somewhere right in the middle. So you can see here, I've drawn out this channel. Right, and if you guys have a computer, you guys can set it up on the side, like screen by screen. But you guys can see here, back in 1929, during the Great Depression, price sold off roughly 83%. Within the crypto space, if you guys study this, you guys know Bitcoin falls every market cycle 85%. All coins drop anywhere between 95, 98%. You can see here, 86% fall off, right? And that sparked this entire move. We've had different periods where we've had highs and lows, but overall, this entire channel has respected them every single time. We have 3 key areas. We have the major resistance, which just means, if you guys are brand new, every time we come up here, price is just overvalued. Price is very simply overvalued. I'm going to use an example. I know you're recording, Nate, so if this is an example that you might not want me to use, I used to smoke weed. I used to smoke a lot of weed.
Do
So
your
if
thing,
somebody's
bro.
telling me,
Do your thing.
all right, so I used to smoke a lot of weed. In Canada, a gram is about $10. If I'm going to a different city and somebody's trying to sell me a gram for $20, I'm going to be like, I'm probably not going to go and buy that. In terms of trading and investing, right up here, this is that gram for $20. We do not want to be buying up here because price is overvalued. We want to wait for that price to go and come down. And that is the importance of this channel. So right here, it's just signaling wherever price is overvalued and we might drop, and where we're undervalued. And then it shows somewhere in the middle, right? So you can see here, overvalued, undervalued. And then we have the median line, which just means we are smack dab in the middle. A lot of people, they're going to misinterpret this median line as just, oh, this is boring. Price is not really doing much. But my philosophy is we're either going to be extremely overvalued or undervalued, right? Based on the channel. We don't really get this often. 1929, the last time we were truly at that line. 1932, last time we were severely undervalued. And then another 10 years. So it took 10 years for us to reach the same level. This is just time expanding, by the way. 1974, this is the last time beyond 1942. So about 32 years later. Time and price perfectly aligned. So we're the same level as undervalued as we were back in 1942. Same exact thing in the 2008 recession, right? Pretty much the exact same level as undervalued as we were back in 1974, 1942, and then obviously 1932, which is the end of the Great Depression. So this entire thing does not just show you support resistance, it adds context. And I don't know, Nate, if you spread the video somewhere. If you guys ever really study and take this very, very seriously and want to like understand all the nuances of the charts, this is the one thing that I'm telling you is the only thing that you'll need to study as an investor to really understand where the value lies, at least as it pertains to the chart. So my whole philosophy is whenever you're looking at a really good asset, and I'm going to show you guys Meta in a second. I heard you guys talk about Meta earlier. Whenever you're looking at a really good asset that has a history of growth, every single time we trade below this one line right here, it simply means the market is buying time. How do we know that? Because let's take a look. And again, this contextualizes everything.
Hey, when you say buying time, can you break that down just a little bit?
Absolutely. Give me a second. I'll break it down. This is going to blow your minds. I'm going to show you Microsoft. I'll show you everything. It's going to blow your minds. 1942, price ended up becoming overvalued in 1968, right? Because we traded into this median line, right? We treat this line as resistance. 1974 was when we finally went and retested that long-term support. Nate, do you know what this period was?
What's
From
that?
1968 to 1980.
Segregation and stuff.
This was
That
the
wasn't
oil
the civil.
crisis.
Yeah, that was oil.
This was the oil crisis. So this right here, you mentioned buying time. What is the most perfect way to buy time besides stagflation? This right here was the last time we saw stagflation within the markets. This whole period was stagflation. And do you find it a coincidence? It was the last true time that we came back and retested the bottom of this trend? Absolutely not. The market buys time. It does it consistently. When you're holding a really good asset at key levels for prolonged periods of time, you mentioned the people that have the money, Nate. Who has the money? These big institutions, these big hedge funds. They're not suckers, bro. They know when they're buying. They know why they're buying. And more importantly, they know once price breaks out of these prolonged periods, eventually they're holding most of that supply. So whenever I say the market is buying time, this is exactly what I mean. So again, this channel, logarithmic scale, this is stuff that I took years to understand. And it is the baseline that I believe any person that wants to understand the charts has to understand right away, because it sort of eliminates beginner mistakes. It's going to eliminate you thinking, oh, I shouldn't buy this asset because, oh, so much bad news is surrounding it, right? Overall, this contextualizes everything for me. It's not a coincidence that the 2008 recession traded right into the median line and sold off. It's not a coincidence that, what year is this? 2025. It's not a coincidence that the Trump tariffs took us right to play into that median line. So when fear is at all-time highs, when fear is at its maximum, you at least know when to buy. When all of your peers are like, damn, oh, this asset is doing this, I shouldn't be buying it. Oh, sell everything. You're able to look at yourself confidently in the mirror, confidently at your portfolio and say, okay, now is the time that I buy because I've contextualized. Now is the time that I buy because I've contextualized. So in every case over the last 5 years, if you had understood this, if I had understood this when I first started, I wouldn't have blown bags. I wouldn't have, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have chased the wrong assets. I would have focused on consistent growth. I would have focused on inputting myself into the right places. So this is essentially how I would have done it. But overall, one example that I can show you guys of the bot time concept, everything, would be on Microsoft. And I guess it's just
Quick question before you move on.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you see we're breaking out above that middle line, right?
Which middle line?
The dotted middle line, like the average, right?
The
Right
median.
there? Yeah, the median, my bad. Would this cause you to be cautious of going long here?
No. And I'll tell you why. From current price,
Talk to me.
let's take a look and contextualize. The last time that we were at this long-term resistance line started the Great Depression. The only other time that we've really traded above this median was the dot-com bubble, right? We retested the median in the '08 recession. This is all pre-planned, by the way. When you look at the charts, you understand what's pre-planned and what's not. This is all pre-planned. This is 100% pre-planned. And that's the scary part, that these billionaires are willing to fuck you over to make themselves richer. All of that was pre-planned. So was COVID. But to answer your question, right now it's scary territory, yes, because of what's going on with gold. That's the only reason why I'm saying this, because you obviously know that whenever the equity market goes up, people are kind of more risk on. But when gold goes up, people are more risk off. So I got to ask myself, why is the equity market and gold making record highs at the exact same time? It does create this sort of cautiousness, but at the end of the day, if 2026 is the time where AI pops off, if all of these companies increase their revenue by decreasing the amount of humans that they have to pay, what's to say that we don't come back and clear all of the money that's sitting within here? What's to say that we don't clear all of the empty time that we've been using to go and trade into true overvalued territory? That's just the one question that I got to ask.
Yeah,
But then I got to ask myself,
I know I'm pointing out the obvious, but that's 15,000 on SPX, dog.
you're telling me.
What was crazy is KB had
You're
brought it
telling
up
me.
KB had brought it up the other day. He had seen a Trump comment that said, "I'm going to make this market double," and we laughed like, it says 7,000. How the hell will it get to 14, 15,000? And the
Did you guys actually talk
line,
about that?
what'd you
Yeah.
say?
You 100% spoke about that. That's crazy. The coincidence. Wow.
We was talking about this last week, me and Nate.
Last week.
Yeah, that's sort of what it looks like. If AI really does take over and it reduces the need for humans, all these companies are saving money.
So right now, we was over that line during the dot-com bubble. in the Great Depression. I think you said since we're in that AI bubble, that's why we over that line. That's what I took from that.
That's sort of what I'm getting at. But you don't know when that AI bubble pops. So in my opinion, it's either we're at the start of, I guess, what we would have seen as the roaring 20s
Yeah.
with AI,
Yeah.
or we see a small pullback and then we eventually go higher. But right now, there's no chance in hell that we're coming back lower. We're not, because if we do, what other spot are we going to? We're not going to go and retest the area of the 2000 highs. We're not going to go and retest the area of the 2007 highs. That would mean the SPX drops what? How much percent is this?
Yeah. Yeah.
The SPX not dropping no 76%.
Yeah. So it's almost physically not physically, but I'm gonna say it's almost theoretically impossible for us to drop from 6,900 down to what is that, $1,600 a share on SBA?
According to Elliott Wave,
Yeah.
this would be completely illegal.
Yeah.
Like this is not happening.
Yeah, it will be. Yeah, it would be over, and that's kind of why I said when I was at the investment firm when we would have red days, 100 like the Trump tariff, the Liberation Day, that cooked a lot of people, majority of people. But I'm like, man, it's been worse though, bro. Right? It's been worse. So yeah, I'm with you.
100%. 100%. So I'm personally just curious to see what happens. Like 100%, I'm curious because it's either we double or we buy time. But at the end of the day, you see the resilience of the SPX. You see the resilience of the stock market. You see the resilience of all these companies. You see the innovation. Growth is not dying down. Growth is accelerating way faster than personally I would have expected 5 years ago. How many of you guys would have thought you would be talking to a fucking robot or a chat bot every single day back in 2020? Probably not a single one of you guys. Let's be honest here.
Nah,
I would have
just
never thought
seen
ChatGPT
it
would
in
have been here.
movies.
No.
Movies, just seen it in movies and stuff. Hey, quick question before you finish. I knew you're going to Microsoft. What would you say to investors that are calling for all of this to pop and blow up and go down into a recession, kind of the end of this year in 2027? What would you say from that? Like from people, Twitter, investors that are saying, the market is going to pop, and it's over with 2027. What do you think?
My opinion would be, why would you want that? Why would anybody want that? That just slows growth down.
Well, not a need for want, but for technical analysis of what people are seeing. Hey, this can be over in about a year or two. So just kind of be cautious. What would you say?
I am seeing no signs that that's even remotely the case. There's not a sentence I can word to them, but from my perspective, based on everything that I'm seeing, bro, I just don't think that's even possible. Like this year, it's either we pop or we continue higher. And in my humble opinion, we're getting no signs that we're going to continue lower. I want to show you something really quickly. That Trump tariff was perfectly orchestrated by Trump. Perfectly orchestrated in order to create time. We simply bought time. Whenever the markets sell off and we trade sideways, we buy time. I've broken that down. Whoever says they look at the charts, do you guys know what a head and shoulders pattern is?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the SPX. Let's answer your question, Nate. Left shoulder, head. Even if we do quote unquote pop, it's not happening for very long. Even if price trades lower, we're just completing the pattern. We're just completing the pattern. Let's really take that in. Because this is your left shoulder. This is your right shoulder. Or sorry, this is your left shoulder. This is your head. If your right shoulder is yet to form and they think that the bubble's going to pop, they're just providing liquidity for us. Because then we get a lot of people that want to short the market. And guess what? They short, we long. This pattern is indicating that the market wants to go up. So in my humble opinion,
Wow. That's fire.
yeah, they're just providing the liquidity for us. It's as simple as that.
It's fire because you keep your mindset of, even though what's going on in the macroeconomics of things, you're still looking at this with pattern recognition. That even if we do fall, it's kind of basing to create the other shoulder for us to push back up, right? And it's kind of like I'm not going to say you want that to happen, but for it to finish the pattern setup, you would kind of need it to fall.
That's sort of exactly what my framework is. You need these things to happen, because if
Wow.
it doesn't happen, then you sort of don't have a pattern that indicates price wants to do anything, because price is just going up pretty much in a straight line. And until price tells you we're creating a pattern that shows us we want to go up, we're not going to have much growth that brings us there. Why would we? Price is just going up. Everybody's going to enter that fear state, right? Oh, when is this quote unquote bubble going to pop? So the higher we go up and just chop, the worse it technically is. So these downturns are really important for investors because they get to buy cheap. And then we complete the pattern. Cheaper, yeah. And then we get to complete the pattern.
It's fire.
So,
That's fire. That's fire. So show us that after this, show us that Microsoft that you were talking about too.
So Microsoft, .com bubble pops, '08 recession happens, largest shift of wealth coincidentally coincides with this time frame. .com bubble, pop. '08 recession, we pop again. Stagnation on Microsoft. Year 2000, 2016. Took us 16 years to hit all-time highs. If you had bought basic support levels of Microsoft from 2000 going into 2011, if you had foreshadowed this pattern, remember pattern recognition, left shoulder, head, right shoulder. I mentioned the .com bubble, '08 recession, all orchestrated for shit like this. Shit like this. People need to buy time. The market needs to buy time. We need to stagnate in order for the money to shift into the right hands, or at least enough of it. And for price to form these patterns and rise over 1,800% into current time. If you want to take a look at examples of IPOs, whoever mentioned they love Palantir, let's take a look at Palantir. We mentioned the 80% sell-offs. We mentioned all of that stuff. The market just does that to buy time. You think it's a coincidence that Palantir post-IPO sells off 87%? The market decides to sell off, and right here is the moment where we buy time. These U-shaped patterns. If you ever wonder where the market is buying time, go to TradingView. Go right here on TradingView and click this little thing right here. This little arc, or is it an arc or is it a curve? Either one. Arc, curve, whatever you guys want. And just draw that out. And you'll see that the market is buying time. Sells off, creates this U-shaped pattern. Oh, wow, we break out significantly higher. It's not a coincidence. Let's take a look at how Microsoft did it. And you're going to see a pattern here. This is all pattern recognition, by the way. All of it is just basic pattern recognition. Microsoft sells off 75%. We see that long pattern. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. Why didn't we long here? Pattern hasn't formed yet, right? Why didn't we long from there? Pattern is not formed. U-shape. This is where the liquidity lies. This is where the money is. All of that money's trapped. It's all trapped. And once price breaks out, you receive the external reward of the internal liquidity building. And when you look at it from a channel standpoint, when you really contextualize it, let's just delete everything off my screen for viewer's sake. I don't know why I don't have a Microsoft thing here yet, but let's try to draw out this channel cleanly. You can see here, very overvalued. Very overvalued. Price buys time. And Microsoft hasn't really popped off yet, which is why the growth is not as significant as Apple is. Right? Like, just out of curiosity, in that same time frame, from 2008, how much do you think Apple is up? Just somebody drop a number in the chat.
Probably up
Just
something
compared to
crazy.
Apple. What do you think the difference is? So if Microsoft's up 1,800%, what would you think Apple is from August of 2000 and actually let's just call it the bottom of the '08 recession, global financial crisis. What do you guys think that number is?
Probably something double. Something.
Yeah, what? 5,000%?
Let's take a look. And I'm going to show you why this channel is significantly
Bro,
relevant.
this logarithmic this shit is a game changer, bro.
You're
Like,
telling me, bro. You're telling me.
that shit is
You are
fire, bro.
telling me.
That shit fire. I like
2008. Damn near 10x.
10,000%.
Oh no, 5x. 10,000%. Yup.
10,000%.
So you can see the growth differentiator between the two. Why do you think Apple, in its early stages, was stagnating this entire time? All of this is also bot time. So the market's just buying time. Oh wow. .com bubble. Technology's advancing. Oh wow. This computer company is selling revolutionary computers. Oh wow, they're transitioning to cell phones. Wow, they put a camera on a cell phone. Wow, they're introducing music on your phone. Nobody wants to buy a Walkman anymore. Nobody wants to buy CDs. Oh, an aux cord. They've adapted every single time to new technology. And if you guys ever want to know where Apple makes the majority of their money, go to TradingView, go to the daily time frame on TradingView, press any one of the earnings, go to more Apple financials, and you'll see how these companies make their money. You can see here, Apple makes the most of their money through iPhones. But, oh, fuck, my phone ran out of storage. Yep, they make 26.23% of their money off selling you that stupid little storage, that Apple Music. So while they've locked you into that consumer ecosystem, they've also locked you into the financial ecosystem of you're going to pay to buy the cell phone, but you're also going to pay to use it.
Yo, Apple's not going nowhere, bro. I don't know why, bro.
Apple is not going anywhere.
Keep going, man. Keep going, bro.
But you sort of see the mindset of how I approach stocks on a basic level that anybody can understand. This is exactly what I try to preach to people. That some of this, if you put a year in, guys, 2 years, I swear to God, on everything I love, you could change your life. You could change your life.
Wow.
Based on the jobs of my education, that my current education can get. You think that any job is going to pay me 70 grand in 3 months? Not a chance. I created that for myself. I created all of this life that I live for myself. Courtside NBA games, taking helicopter rides, traveling on a regular basis. All of that. You think a job is going to pay me that? No. It's not going to give me that freedom. So I'm telling you, all of this might seem like foreign language. You guys might not know me, so my story might not hit as hard. But at the end of the day, all of this can change your life. I don't know a ton of you guys, but I just want you to know. Everything that we speak about here, I genuinely mean it. And if you guys can put that work in for a year, 2 years, all it takes, not just to change your lives, but also the people around you. Because when you start talking like this to your mom, to your dad, to your cousins, maybe if you guys have kids, they start to get more curious. They start to ask you questions. They start to look at you as the person that is speaking financial literacy into your family, into your friend groups. And it all starts with understanding your consumerism side. Like you said, Nate, Apple's not going anywhere. But also then again, creating that spark of curiosity of why is Apple not going anywhere? And yeah, honestly, that was pretty much what I wanted to share with you guys. I know we broke down some beginner level stuff. If you guys do watch this back, I can sort of break it down for you very quickly of what steps you would take to understand the undervalued, overvalued stuff. So I'll just break it down very quickly.
Yeah, give
That way
us
you guys have like a
give us a like a 5-step, 6-step blueprint on, hey, step 1 is this. This is what I do when I go to the chart. Step 2 is this. Just like a refresher, like a recap
I
of
got you.
everything you
I
said.
got you.
All right.
So Google is probably the easiest one. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to the right side of your screen on this axis where the prices are, right click it, go to logarithmic scales. I believe this is like something L on my chart. I don't know. It's option L on Mac. Logarithmic. You're going to tighten the entire screen, right? I want you to zoom out. I want you to go over here in the second option, go to the drop down menu. I want you to go and press parallel channel. Keep this with you. Just start up. Press that. And then you're going to want to play with it until it hits off the majority of these levels down here. And I actually realized that there's an asset that's much easier to use. It's Meta. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to show you something, Nate, in a second.
Yeah, please.
It's going to blow your mind. Meta is probably the easiest one. So 2013, 2012, we IPO. I'm going to go and draw out my channel. But guess what? This kind of short-lived. It looks like we're approaching these highs. We're actually not going to draw it out like this. We're going to cheat a little bit. We're going to forecast the future instead.
Oh God. See, look. Before you even go to, I see exactly where you're going. Why would you say the median, right? That mid is the middle now when it was now this is the high of the trend line, right? If you follow what I'm saying. So this has been the high of the trend line, but you just expanded it for it to actually being like the middle area of the channel.
Uno, dos, tres. We finally got that long pattern that we're looking for.
Golly, bro.
Left shoulder, head, right shoulder. All of this is flat money. This is just orders trapped above here. This is liquidity. This is price begging us to go higher.
We about to turn 1,000 to 1,000,000, nigga.
Bro, if you think bro, man, I'm telling you, this is essentially how you would go and draw out your chart. So step one, go to any given asset. If you want to go to Bitcoin, make sure you're really putting this in logarithmic scale. Step one is going to any given asset you want. Drop down menu, press the parallel channel. I would try to do it from IPO on most stocks, but if you can't, play around with it. And make sure you're hitting off of at least 2 resistance points, or 2 support points, I should say. You're just going to click your screen. You're going to slide it up. And you're going to stop at that resistance. The problem with Meta here is we've only ever really hit off of this once, right? So in this case alone, if I was satisfied with this, this would technically be correct, right? We've respected support, support, resistance, resistance, and we've also respected the median line, which is this dotted line here. Price breaks above it. We come back, trade back into the area, and we treat it as support. Boom, treat it as support. So this right here, very healthy. Very, very healthy. But in Meta's case, I'm expanding this. So now I'm not thinking, wow, I'm not going to buy Meta because look, I just drew out a channel. I just made a retail mistake of believing in support and resistance. By the way, I'm not shitting on support and resistance to the, I don't remember who it was. You mentioned you trade SNR, but for me, support and resistance is just liquidity. Like there's a way that you can differentiate the two. And this is the way that you make a ton of money by not sort of looking at what everybody else is looking at. This is the way that you expand your pattern recognition skills. So in this case, Meta is preparing to go and pop off. And I don't know if you guys remember this. Fuck, when was this? Just a couple of months ago, back in 2025, November. Meta sells off here. Meta sells off here. Meta sells off here.
Look, inverse head and shoulders, right?
There you go, inverse head and shoulders, but there's also manipulation on this chart. This doesn't exist. This wick doesn't exist. I don't know why it's here.
Bro, we seen that. I think Alante had showed me that. That is crazy. He had said
You
that.
want to know why this is? If you guys trade smart money concepts, this is an order block. An order block is essentially an area where price had 2 candles, one green one, one red one. The green one was the last up candle Obviously, the red one was the large move down. Price will normally come back and react off that level before selling off again, continuing the trend. We go back and recollect those orders because price sold off so fast, and then we continue. So what this was this is just a retail trap. Whomever manipulated this wanted people to think, or at least retail traders, price is going to go and sell off. That's all they wanted. They didn't want them to make money through the options chain. Why would they? That's all this is. It's just manipulation. This happens not often, but it's still manipulation. This just simply doesn't exist. I'm telling you, bro, I live, breathe, and sleep this. This is as pattern recognition as it gets. But overall, for the people who are still starting off and probably are like, I honestly have no clue what this guy is saying, but I eventually will go back and rewatch this video. In very simplistic terms, this channel is going to help you contextualize your investing. It's also going to help you contextualize where you are in trading, right? At least for swing trades. But when you really look back in a year or 2 years and you rewatch this video, you're now going to go from, okay, I understood the basics to, okay, this motherfucker just gave me the framework that I need to go and get rich. That's what I just gave you guys today, the framework to go and get rich. The framework of how I've made 70 grand in less than a quarter. So overall, that is honestly all I wanted to share with you guys. My opinion on the stock market, on everything. Everything looks bullish long term. I think one of the great opportunities that we have, if I have to be honest,
So you're
is
on. Hey, I got a quick question for you, brother.
ask
You're
away.
on a weekly. You're on a weekly time frame.
I shift from weekly, monthly, sometimes 3 months, 6 months, yeah.
Okay. All right. That was it.
And then one of the greatest opportunities that we have right now, in my opinion, is Ethereum. I'm gonna drop some game before we get out of here. Is ETH.
Hey, before you leave too, when you talk about Ethereum, make sure you talk about your risk management. Right?
100%, bro.
Okay,
Everything that we spoke about here is very simply. I'll touch on that right now. How many of you guys say you have struggled with risk management? Please just be dead honest. How many of you guys struggle with risk management?
I used to in the beginning stages. I'm getting better at it.
I definitely do.
For
How many of
sure.
you guys view trading or like
Yeah, for
putting
sure.
money into the market as like real gambling?
No, I don't view it
Nah,
as
yeah, we
gambling.
got we
I
got we
don't
got a
gamble with
strong
my life.
mindset. Yeah, we don't really
Good. I'm
gamble.
glad.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I'm happy. But I think risk management all boils down to what your perspective is on stocks and assets. Like if your perspective is I want to hold this for like 3-4 years and you're just buying the underlying, I think your asset selection eats away at 80% of that risk management. Because now you don't got to worry if this asset drops 5, 10, 15%. Why are you going to sell Apple? Why are you going to sell Nvidia? Why are you going to sell Amazon? Why are you going to sell Tesla? You're not. And if you do, you're cutting yourself short of gains. Trading wise, risk management is different for everybody. For me,
I think your screen's still showing. Okay, man, now we good now.
yeah, I opened the chat. For me, risk management is all about asset selection. For me, investing wise, swing trading. If I want to trade on zero leverage, asset selection. It's just asset selection. I will happily let a swing trade on no leverage turn into an investment if the asset is good. If the asset is good. If I'm not trading on 2x leverage, I have no fear of getting liquidated. I will happily add on to that position and average down. But I'm not buying the dip on some garbage. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's sort of where my philosophy stems from. Trading wise, though, is different. You guys trade a lot of options. Options is very hard to have risk management because you do not use stop losses in options.
Right.
Or at least the majority of people don't.
For sure.
So you have to monitor that as an individual, right? I think options is the one game where it's very easy to make a lot of money, but a lot of risk as well if you're just starting off and you're sort of over leveraging. So the number one thing that I will say is you can make a lot of money very quickly trading options, and you don't need a lot of money to do it. Your number one thing, if you're trading options, is your position sizing. I get it. Options contracts sometimes on different assets like Tesla, it's not cheap. But at the end of the day, that just means you got to increase your bankroll. That's all that means.
I got one quick question.
Ask away.
So after you execute on a huge trade, what is your mindset after? Like, what is the initial thing that you do to keep you level-headed?
I have psychological numbers that I can't seem to get over. I'm gonna be dead honest with you guys. I can turn $500 into 20 grand in a couple days. I've done it multiple times. I've turned $35 into $21,000 in 3 days based on simple pattern recognition. But you see a trend here. It all stops at 20,000. That is my psychological halt. Each and every single one of you guys are gonna have some sort of barrier you can never get over. If you're in profit, for me at least, if I'm in profit and I feel like, oh damn, I create this God complex in my head. Oh, I just turn into Midas. Everything I'm touching is turning into gold. I gotta get out of the market. I'm gonna be dead honest. I have to get out. I cannot do it to myself because we're all men here. Just to confirm, I'm gonna give you guys a quick little thing. How many of you guys can go to the bar, to the club, to a party, whatever the case is, and like you can pick up some women? You guys can unmute yourselves. I don't know
Nah,
why.
shit too easy, gang.
Yeah, that's the
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like it just feels like I really don't have to try. You know what I'm saying? And what does that do to your ego? You feel like I'm the man. Damn. All right, cool. They kind of just throw themselves at me. Trading, very similar. It triggers that dopamine, creates that God complex. I can't do no wrong. Finest girl in the club. All right, say less. Trading does the same thing to you. That girl rejects you. Oh, fuck. Oh, maybe it's on to the next one. But for some people, they want revenge. Why doesn't she? I'm him, bro. I just made X amount of money. I'm 7 feet tall, 6 feet tall. I'm a ball player. Everybody has their different reasons, but revenge trading is definitely something that I guess you can see in different aspects of one's life. For me personally, risk management all boils down to number one, not risking more than you're willing to lose. And if you do, think about it from this perspective. The longer you stay in the game, the more chances you have at winning. You cannot win a game that you're not actively playing. You cannot win a game that you are not actively playing. So the longer you stay in it, the more chances you have to win. And from my perspective, again, I have little triggers where if I'm feeling like I have this God complex, I got to stop. If I'm feeling like, oh, I just hit a threshold that normally I can never get over, I'll start to revenge trade and I'll lose money, I got to stop. There are certain signs that every high performer knows. Once I've exited this sort of flow state, once I've sort of, dropped out of my bag a little bit, eventually I'm going to have to manage the bad that comes with the good because it's inevitable. There is no rise without fall. So risk management to me boils down to many different things. And number one is just knowing how much capital you're risking and sort of managing that accordingly. You want to stay in the game. You want to make sure that your money's making money. You want to make sure that you're not feeding some guy's trip to Turks and Caicos with his wife, sitting at a fucking desk all day when you're at work slaving away. Why would you want to give your money back to these fucking assholes? It's just what I have to question you. Why would you want to give your money back to the market? Because I'll tell you right now, there are retail traders taking it, but there probably is some very white, overprivileged man sitting there because his daddy had connections that is taking your money straight from you. And I want that to piss you off. Genuinely, I do. I want it to piss you off. Because when you think about that, you will never over leverage again. Just think about it. The white man takes from the black man. Why would you want that? And once you look at it from that perspective, that this game is rigged, why don't they teach you this in school? Why don't they teach you this as a young adult? Why don't people have platforms, or why are there no after school programs that teach you this? Because they don't want you to learn it. So once you look at it from that perspective of I'm not even supposed to be here, they don't want me to be in this game, why would you give them your money? And that's just my perspective on risk management. Though everybody's risk management strategy is completely different, but mine, it all boils down to a mindset of I simply just don't want to lose money. And hopefully that's a respectable way to look at risk management for each and every single one of you guys.
Nah, that's great, man. That's great. Show us this Ethereum, bro. We want to look at
Oh,
that.
ETH. Yeah, I got you. ETH. So we mentioned every time the market stagnates, we buy time. And what are we doing here? We're stagnating. 2022, bro, we're in 2026. The market's just stagnating, right? So that tells me every time you buy underneath these all-time highs, wherever Ethereum breaks out to, we're not returning back to 2021. Sure as hell or not. Not returning back to 2025. Once we break out of here, once that AI really takes over, crypto takes over the world, Ethereum is going to be that one asset that everybody wish they bought sooner.
Quick
And
question.
it's
Quick
asked away.
question. I just want to just make sure it's hitting home for everybody. When you say buying time, that's essentially liquidity that's just building internally inside of the structure
That is exactly what it is. It's just liquidity building inside the structure
until it's time. And so
until it's time.
once it gets to that breakout though, that's when it's time. But what you're saying is until then, everything under the breakout, you're just building a position.
You're just building. That's what the institutions are doing. So why are we not doing the same thing? Why do you think it's staying below here? You think Ethereum is an asset that only broke people trade? Or people that don't want it to go up? No, there's a lot of rich motherfuckers who buy into the crypto market. Why would they not want price to go up? That's the question that most people are asking. But what I'm asking is, why are they holding it down for so long?
See, that's a great way of thinking, bro.
Why are they holding it down for so long? And when I back test Microsoft, when I back test everything, the one conclusion I get to is they're buying time. That is the one conclusion I get to is they are buying time.
Do you feel like there's going to be another crisis?
Bro, that's a you're asking me to predict a black swan. It's very difficult.
Okay. And then
Very difficult to predict
I
any
got
black swan.
one other question to not interrupt.
Ask away, ask away.
But what investments are you prioritizing? Like three, say if I was a beginner trader and I want to, look at the market, what three stocks or cryptocurrencies would you throw me?
That's a very, very good, very, very good question. I'm happy you asked that. For me, I'm looking at if I want something that is even remotely safe for me, but still high growth, because I don't want something that's really just safe and I'm like not making any money, right? Because unless you're playing with a couple $100,000, very safe returns are not significant returns. That's not how you grow. And I'm sure, obviously, a lot of you guys know that. Personally, I am looking at the oil markets. I'm looking at Exxon Mobil's of the world. I'm looking at Chevron's of the world. Why? Nate, you want to point out what I'm looking at? What did
Building
oil
that
do?
time,
Oil
right?
went
Oh, that.
negative.
Oh, you're talking about that inverse Head and Shoulders, right?
We're doing it again.
Goodness.
And all the market
And then
did.
you tie in, just this war on oil from Trump
Yep.
and it's crazy because over the past couple years, I've been in the market. We've talked about oil more this year than any other year, probably in the past
Mm-hmm.
few years. More
Well, it's because look at
headlines
what's
about it.
happening.
Yeah.
Look at all of the oil. Look at all the gas companies. They're all making record profits. Everybody's invested in their stock. Why? Look at what gold just did. The entire commodity market's following suit. The world is in uncertain times. And what do people flock to in uncertain times? They flock to commodities. They flock to gold.
Silver's been going insane.
Silver, yeah. You guys think silver's done? Silver, bro. Silver. Silver is just getting started.
Silver, gold, natural gas, copper.
Absolutely. And by the way, that U-shaped pattern works in Forex. I literally just showed you guys how to become an analyst in any fucking market. I just did it in stocks, crypto, Forex, anything based off of one philosophy. Pattern recognition, understanding long patterns and short patterns, but also understanding liquidity and the concept of bot time. Here's your head and shoulders, right? There's your head and shoulders. This is your, how long is this? 13 year, 14 year, 15 year, whatever consolidation, or the market buying time. And guess what? You reap the reward very fast.
Very fast. Very fast.
Very fast.
Hey, I'm about to after you finish, I'm gonna open it up so everybody can at least ask a
Absolutely.
question or
I
two.
gotta get a sip of water, so go ahead. You're good, bro.
No, you're good. My question was if I'm playing God's advocate, right? Not devil's advocate,
Go ahead.
and I just say, okay, at the end of the U shape, why won't I just say it was just inflation that took off and it's kind of timing with everything else that's taking off right now too, right? With inflation going insanely crazy,
Mm-hmm.
playing God's advocate, everything's going up, right? Everything valuable is going up. All the commodities are going up in the past year or two, this year, and they're going to keep going up. If I'm playing God's advocate, how do I know this is just not a coincidence?
In regards to which asset?
Really the commodities with the chart, how you were drawing that U shape and how it breaks out of there. How do we know this is just not a coincidence? What would you say?
Honestly, it's a good question. Right now, obviously, we can only speak in hindsight because we've sort of already broken out,
Gotcha.
right?
Gotcha.
Um, Even the best analysts still have a hard time answering this question. Like for me, it's very good that you played God's advocate in this particular case because it's not a question that I can directly answer you. Maybe we leave that up for curiosity and for research and growth. But for me, it's just a question that I cannot answer.
Gotcha. Nah, no worries. I was just curious that maybe it's just all the stars are aligning at the same time for gold, silver, Nvidia, gold, like yeah, copper,
Oh, you're talking about
natural
gold
gas.
itself?
Yeah,
Uh,
really all of them, right? All the commodities, all of the stocks. Shit, most stocks are not most, but in like in a grand scale of things, things are all-time highs, bro. You know what I mean? Equities are
what
all-time highs, commodities, everything, right?
in my opinion, bro, we prepare for these things like decades in advance. Like we prepare for it decades in advance. Like, give me 1 second. Let's reshare my screen. Like, do you think it's a coincidence that gold created this cup and handle pattern from what is this, 2012, 2016, 2024, right after COVID? COVID pushed it up. We needed to finish the pattern, and price obviously traded higher. It's not a coincidence. We planned for this decades in advance. It's just up to you to understand where you are in that pattern. Because at the
Mm,
end of the day, if you're an analyst and you're just trying to make money trading gold, let's play God's advocate from my perspective, right? If you're just trying to make money trading gold, okay, cool. I'm gonna go and buy low, and hey, if I want to go and sell this, I'm gonna go and sell it into that resistance line up here. But if I'm looking at it with foresight, well, damn, we traded into resistance, but we also didn't really sell off too much on the right shoulder. So why am
mm,
I really selling my position? You think investors, they see gold trading sideways for 15 years and we hit all-time highs. You think they're going to keep that there? Think they're going to sell off at all-time highs? No, they want their money. They want their money's worth. Why would they want to sell it off? They want their money's worth. And that's where the huge pump comes from. It's throughout this entire time, they're doing it for a reason. It's because they want their money's worth in a very fast amount of time after the fact. Because now they have people to go and sell that back to. Because they know that price is never returning back here again. I'll be damned if gold hits 3K again. Or what price is this? I
that's
will
what,
laugh my
1900,
I will bet
2000?
my unborn child's life gold is never reaching $2,600 again or $2,000 again.
2000, 2000.
I will bet my unborn child's life on that. Gold is never reaching this again. I am telling you, we plan this in advance. How do I know that? We did it all the way back here.
Goodness
You think
gracious.
none of this is random. And the reason why you can't see it, because it's hidden. It's all in logarithmic scale. It's all hidden. This all pre-planned. All of this is pretty ugly. But notice how the only time we go long is when the long pattern forms. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, I'm glad you're playing God's advocate, but sometimes things happen very last minute, so nobody understands what the hell is going on. You ask questions, you get curious, but the patterns are undeniable. If your girl consistently wakes you up for breakfast, the one day she don't wake you up for breakfast, you're going to be like, something is up. If your girl consistently tells you good morning every single morning, the one day she doesn't say it, why did my girl not say it? We're all well versed in pattern recognition. Some of us just don't know what to look for.
Fire, bro.
Look at
Fire,
this.
bro.
Look at this. The only time we broke out was after this pattern.
So
You
you
cannot
really
spot it
love
anywhere
that.
in
You
here.
really love that inverse head and shoulders. And what's crazy is I've been keen to that pattern recognition of the inverse head and shoulders for a while now. Like I'll put it in the chat with the guys like, yo, let's building this inverse head and shoulder. I think it's ready to go. And damn near 90% of the time, bro, it goes, man. It goes.
This is the number one most recognized pattern in technical analysis. That's why.
Got it.
You want to
Right.
know why?
Why is that?
This is the number one most recognized pattern. The head of every head and shoulders pattern is considered the liquidity sweep, right? Because it is the lowest point of the pattern. The left shoulder is
Or
the
the
last,
highest. Or the highest.
or the highest.
On the
Yeah, there
opposite
you go.
side.
Or the highest.
No.
Left shoulder is going to be either the last known highest or lowest part, support or resistance, right? So boom, there's support, price break support. Why are we creating a right shoulder? Just logically speaking, what are we doing at that right shoulder?
Trying to
If
break
we're not
up.
going to go in, no. What are we doing at the right shoulder after the pattern forms? We're just retesting previous support.
Oh
We're not
yeah.
going to come back and trade below that head. The pattern would break down.
But
So
it
all
also
it
shows
is,
you like in a little way like a higher low, right?
yeah, that's exactly what it is. Higher highs and higher lows. This is basic price action.
Yeah.
You're putting the pattern behind it, but it's just basic highs and lows. Like, look, price has this downtrend here. We break above it. Oh shit, we didn't create a new low. Higher high, higher low. And when you look at how long this downtrend lasted for, from 80, what year is this?
Was that 79?
1980 to,
Yeah,
yeah,
79, 80.
wow,
Yeah.
22, 23 years. So after 23 years, investors, traders, they want their money's worth. So right after that pattern forms, price breaks out. So you see what I'm saying? Like it all goes hand in hand.
Yeah,
The
man.
pattern, the time buildup, everything. And guess
Yeah.
what? It all happens so sudden. So the big money has somebody to sell back to.
Got you, man. Man, that's fire, man. I wrote all of that down. I'm gonna open it up. Anybody got any questions, man? I don't want to ask them 1,000 questions, but if anybody has a question that probably wasn't asked, man, go for it.
What stocks are you interested in right now?
Me, bro, I'm going to be honest. I'm interested more in the
Yeah.
upside of crypto in the future. I think crypto has historically outperformed stocks. And me, if I had to narrow it down to one thing that you guys can buy, in my opinion, obviously not financial advice, over the next 5-10 years, it would be ETH. I think ETH has the highest upside as the second largest market cap crypto, where I would consistently want to add this no matter how how low we go. Below, obviously, those all-time highs, which I highlighted, because once we break above there, we probably start ripping. So if I had to narrow it down to one asset, maybe not just one stock, it would absolutely be ETH. If I had to
Ethereum.
narrow it down to one stock that's a little bit safer, but I can still see growth, XOM, Chevron. I don't want to give you guys something that may be a hit or miss if obviously we go through economic turmoil. But from my perspective, crypto market for the absolute future, and you're just putting money in there that you're not afraid to just let sit. And if I'm betting on consistent, probable growth, I'm not talking about speculative. I don't care about speculative. Probable growth. I am looking at oil. I am looking at XOM. I am looking at Chevron.
Hey, they
Because I
report
want,
earnings on Friday.
I know. I don't know if I think has to be before the bell, right?
Yeah,
Are they going to let it go into the weekend and just let it
yeah,
rip or dump?
yeah. Shit,
Does
tomorrow
Chevron
Friday,
have,
right? Yeah, I'm
tomorrow
tripping.
is Friday, yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow's Friday. Yeah, we'll know in the morning. Anybody else got any questions, man?
Yeah, I got a question. Can you hear me?
I hear you.
I'm a beginning investor, man. Just trying to ask a question. Um, really, for a beginning investor, what would you say like are the biggest things that we need to, focus on or like try to pinpoint, if that makes sense?
Everything you do outside of investing.
Mm.
Every
And if
single thing
you
you do outside
if
of
you if
investing.
you could go into detail, like what do you mean by that?
Well, it takes money to make money, right?
Gotcha.
You want to make sure that you're consistently finding ways to. Everything that you do in life is an investment. The girl that you date is an investment. The car you drive is an investment. How much money you're pouring into this, the way that you use your time, every single thing is an investment because you continuously pour into another cup that you have that all adds to the same drink. It all adds to the same recipe, life. So whatever you do outside of the charts, I think is the most important part of investing. As a beginner, you want to make sure that you have money, consistent money coming in. Where if you're investing, you're not looking at this and you're like, I want to sell this because I need to go and fund something for my car. You want to make sure that you have that emergency fund. You want to make sure that everything that people looked at, maybe when you were younger, from my perspective, at least in Canada, they looked at having an emergency fund as lame. Oh, why do I need that? I'll just go through and just, stroll through life. All the things that people maybe sort of look down on, maybe you never thought was important. I will try to take actionable steps to make sure whatever happens in your day-to-day life, nothing will fuck with my investments.
I appreciate that, man.
Fire. Hey, well, let's
That's just my perspective.
like probably
I
like
had a I
two
had a
more
quick question
questions.
as
Yeah,
well.
two more questions.
You said in the beginning where I'm sorry, earlier in the conversation you said you weren't a big fan of options, and I wanted to know when you got your like initial growth, did you play in the options market or were you really just steadily just swing trading with the shares?
Um, I'm gonna be honest. I started trading off every single market that I've traded in. Has created this terrible toxic relationship with money. Because I've
Wow.
hit big in every single market. I've hit big in everything that I've traded. First Forex trade, I think, was like a $300 overnight trade, and that was my introduction to trading. I caught a huge oil short where I made almost 100 grand. I caught the oil back on the upside when we went negative. First options trade I ever placed, I made 17,000. First crypto I ever invested in, 60 grand. First stock I ever invested in was BNGO. Overall, for me, I don't view options as a way to excel my wealth. I use it as a way to either amplify returns in a bull market or hedge against what I already own in a bear one.
Right, right. And then I have one
That is
more
how
question.
professionals go.
Sorry,
Continue, yeah.
one more question as far as the how do you pronounce it again? The logarithmic.
Logarithmic.
How did
Log.
you sharpen your skill with that? Like, were you watching somebody, or was it just chart work, just looking at it repeatedly? Like, how did you get so sharp where you catch everything on there?
Um, when I was again, I smoked a lot of weed, bro. I smoked a lot of weed, man. A lot of weed. When I used to do that, it's not like I was just, fucking off and playing video games all day. I kind of would just find a passion for like looking at the charts. If I was gonna get rich, it was either me streaming freaking playing Call of Duty or learning about something. And if I can't put the weed down, might as well use it to open up a part of my brain that sees things differently. So that's all it was. I just managed to see things differently. And a quick little y'all ever trip when you guys smoke a spliff? Y'all ever like maybe in your early days of smoking, you ever trip?
For sure.
Yep.
There was a time where I've never shared the story with anybody. There's and I kind of understand why I went through this. I was tripping so hard. This is the first time I took a tolerance break. I smoked a fat spliff, sativa spliff, and I caught myself staring into a clock for maybe about an hour. I didn't even know why. I was tripping, staring into a damn clock. Now I realize I was just opening up myself to understanding what I understand now with the concept of bot time. I was opening myself up to a different reality. So for me, it's just you're gonna find a passion in what you find a passion in, or you're gonna make a passion with what you're living on a daily basis. You ever see those grandmas that are super happy to just be alive going shopping? That's my grandma. She just loves going shopping. If you asked her, would she rather be on a country kicking her feet up? Probably. But you make the most out of your situation. So for me, you're going to sharpen your skills by just being there every day. That's pretty much it. I don't know if you play sports. I don't know if you know what I'm saying, hobbies outside, but it's the exact same thing. LeBron James put in, what is that bar by Kendrick Lamar? Uh, Something about 10,000 hours to become a
10,000
professional.
hours. Yeah.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. 10,000 hours or whatever, right? So put in that 10,000 hours. That is really all it takes, bro. You cannot you cannot sharpen anything without putting in the work, I guess is all I'm really trying to say.
Man, yo, bro, that was fire, bro. That was fire, man. That was fire. Can y'all drop some fire in the chat, man? Something, man. He just gave us a whole master class on, how to really understand this stuff, man. Like, can y'all drop some fire for him, man?
I appreciate
Joseph,
it.
before we let you go, man, can you please drop your Instagram,
Yeah, I got
drop
you. I'd love to
your
connect with all
your
you
your
guys. Yeah, yeah, of
socials,
course.
put it all on there. We all gonna give you a follow. I'm gonna have the guys, shout you out, man, give you a follow, something, man, because you came through, man. You came through, gave us that game, and that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about, bro. So yeah, man. That's
This
fire.
is if I can finish this off.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is definitely the one area of trading. Everything that we spoke about here, like understanding patterns, understanding bot time, trading really only good assets, taking really the philosophy of one of the greatest investors of all time with Peter Lynch. All of this, guys, if I had learned this when I was like 21, I'm telling you, I would be 100 times richer. 100 times richer. I look at my bank account and see at least two more zeros. At least. So when I break this down for you guys, I know it's like a lot of information at once. I know it's not something that you guys are going to be able to retain instantly. But again, when you watch this back, just know this is the video, at least from the charts, that is going to 2x, 3x, 5x, 10x your wealth in the future. So once you see that 10x, don't attribute it back to me. Attribute it back to the 10,000 hours that you put in to learn this.
Man. Thank you, bro. Man, we really appreciate you, man. We locked in, bro. Yeah, man. We'll talk more after the call. Um, thank you, bro, for
I
everything.
got you guys. It was honestly, it was a pleasure talking to all you guys. Um, Really lovely community that you guys have here. I love you guys are able to openly talk about not just stocks, but real estate, bringing what everybody has to the table the table. Nobody's trying to come to the table empty-handed. Everybody's trying to, bring what they bring. People are trying to learn, people are trying to talk, people are trying to elevate together. I really appreciate that. That is a rare thing in life.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, man. Well, all right, man. Well, we about to finish up our last little, events. What we got coming up next. You can stay on. We just got like 2 more minutes, and then we're just gonna finish up, get some rest tonight, man. So, yeah, coming up, bro. Make sure we check in the ecosystem too. KB had said it earlier. I think everybody's in the price targets chat, seeing just the price targets that we had on there. Yo, a lot of those are getting hit, bro. A lot of those are getting hit. So make sure you go see that. What else? Just a couple announcements that I just seen before we got on the call. OpenAI is laying a framework to IPO quarter 4. Quarter 4 of this year, OpenAI is looking for an IPO. Democrats, I'm out here in DC right now. I was at the Senate building. I was at the Capitol. Right, they took my phone, they took my glasses, they took my watch, they took my keys, they took my coat, they took everything. They said they're in session right now. Right, and if you don't know what session means, that they're actively trying to get a bill passed. Right. And so they took us upstairs, took us around. Once I walked in the courthouse, what you see on TV, I'm in there. Right. They were in their recess moment of trying to figure out the bill that they were going to pass. Right. The bill that was on the table that they've been talking about was getting, well, the Republicans and Trump, they want to get more money. right? They want to get more money, want to get this bill passed, but the Democrats, they're fighting that um, the immigration, the homeland security needs to kind of calm down, bro. This ICE stuff, they needs to calm down, and that is why they were facing another verge of the government shutdown. And so they talked about it today. They were saying, "Yo, if we don't come up with this bill by Saturday, the government is going to shut down again." So right before the call, 2 hours ago, they came to a conclusion and an agreement. The agreement was we'll give you your money. The Democrats are saying we'll give the Republicans, we'll give you 90% of your money. But over the next 2 weeks, you have to agree to come up with a solution for this ICE stuff. Republicans, they shook hands, they got it passed, they got the bill passed. The Republicans get their money, the Democrats get an agreement that they're going to slow this ICE and this immigration stuff down over the next 2 weeks. If they don't come up to a conclusion in 2 weeks, the government shut down again. So we don't know what's going to happen, bro. We just know that when Trump comes out, volatility happens. And we've been seeing everything get bought up. Like today, market dumped, got bought up quick, all the way back to the upside. So that's that. And then last thing was Morgan Stanley had a report today that said Microsoft has been removed as a top pick for them. So hopefully we get some more context on that. Um, but yeah, man, we've been talking about Microsoft. We've been talking about OpenAI. We've been talking about, this cloud, this race of AI heating up, man. So definitely keep an eye on that. And then make sure you also remember Powell is out in May. So he just held rates. We seen that yesterday. He held rates. This is the first time he's held rates since what is that? September. Yeah, September. September he cut. October he cut. December he cut. Yesterday was the first time we've held in the past couple months. So what does that mean? We don't know. But I think we're just gonna see what's gonna happen. I think that's what they're saying. We're just gonna pause just to see what happens. And that's kind of really it for me. I got one more day in DC. I gotta go to the Capitol building again. I'm talking to what's it called? Your constituent? Is that what it's called? Indiana representative. I meet with him tomorrow to talk about refining some things in Indiana, bro. So should be dope, man. I don't know how much is going we're gonna get done, but yeah, I go to the Capitol again tomorrow just to have that conversation with him. So that's everything from me. Y'all got any last words? I know we was on a little long. Any last words for we end up before we finish it up?
That was a great call.
Great
I
call.
feel like I got educated.
Sure.
Great
Big
call.
shouts to Joseph for sure.
Shout out to
Yeah, big
Joseph.
shout out. I think we should really, if you
For
don't got nothing
sure.
going on, we should really debrief. Like I got two business partners I work with on a daily basis. After we go through everything on the day, our 9 hour day, or however so, we debrief at the end of the day, see what we can do better, see where anybody confused at or anything like that. And I mean, this was one of our better calls. We went a little bit over 90 minutes.
Yep.
So what we gonna go into the weekend and for the most part say you may forget or we not
Yeah.
gonna talk probably chat or whatever. So
Yeah.
shoot, if you ain't doing nothing, shoot, just sit in here, shoot the shit, bang off each other thoughts real quick, probably a little 10 minutes, and then go about our way.
Go from there. Go from there. I
Yes,
love
sir.
that. I
Yes,
love that.
sir.
And even if we don't got it tonight, even
Yeah,
sometime this weekend, if anybody just get free, just hop on the Zoom. We can just chop it up, just dissect everything that we learned, everything that we seen this week. I think that'd be fire. Anybody else got any other comments?
Yes, sir. Great call today,
Yeah,
man.
fire,
Great
fire
call.
call.
Fire.
Yes, sir.
Saying this.
saying this, saying this, saying this. So yeah, man.
No, Cam Tech, really, Cam Tech, turn around. Cam Tech was
Cam
Cam
Tech,
Tech's been running.
Cam Tech.
Cam Tech's been running, man. Been running. Take a look, y'all.
Say less. It's been running well. that's been running. And I gotta run my ass to some food, my brothers. I
Mhm.
gotta run my ass to some food. And I ain't ate all day, man. I've been
Decent binge chili. Nah,
binge
hell no,
chilling.
I don't eat that shit. Don't eat it. Don't eat it. Don't
Hey,
eat
low key.
it.
Dude, stupid, man. But nah, hey, y'all have a good night, man. We talk
Likewise.
soon, man. I gotta go get some grub, all right?
Y'all be
All right,
safe.
All
family.
right,
Great
take
weekend.
care,
Great
man.
call.
All right,
Safety.
y'all.
Later, brothers.